So let's break this down. When we are talking about the Real Housewives of Orange County, 20 years of this show, 20 years of this reality TV show, lots of exciting, scandalous, maybe goofy moments across the franchise. But this asks the question, who are the top dogs of this franchise? Who would you put as the top 5 of the Real Housewives of Orange County throughout all 20 seasons? All right, so breaking down the Real Housewives of Orange County, 20 seasons of this show. Definitely unbelievable. If you think about it, reality TV was so different back then. 20 years ago, it wasn't even a show that really created success in the way that it does now. Now it's a very business, entrepreneurial thing. Back then, yeah, MTV had these big shows and cast members kind of became a big thing for a moment, but necessarily did not have a career. And with the help of Real Housewives, starting off with Orange County, with the OG of the OC, Vicky, and all these other franchises such as New York and New Jersey, Atlanta, Miami, DC, Dallas, the one, Salt Lake City, the ones that are continue on, and then the ones that are no longer, or the ones that are on pause like Miami, it still has been a really great show. But now I have to ask the question, and we can do this together, who are the top Real Housewives of Orange County cast members? Like, if you break down the show in all of the 20 years, which of the cast members would you say are the top 5? I feel like you have to put the OG of the OC, Vicky Gunvalson, there. Vicky is a lot. She doesn't want to get old, and she definitely doesn't want a basic van. No. Give her a Sprinter van. She does not want a family van. No. Vicky is interesting. I remember when I'd watch Wendy Williams, of all people, was most connected to Vicky Gunvalson. I never quite understood that. And Wendy, of course, has had some more difficult moments now. But at that time, Wendy would always say that she undoubtedly felt connected and even was relatable. It was relatable to Vicky Gunvalson. Vicky Gunvalson is a lot. However, I believe that she definitely needs to make the list of the top 5 for Real Housewives of Orange County if we're going to do a list with this 20-year amazingness for the show to be on the air that long. Like, what show gets on the air for 20 years? This is definitely a big deal. I just watched Survivor 50, and that was interesting to see Survivor 50 years of success. It's crazy in the best way. Now, I'm not going to do this list on my own. I am not going to assemble the list and tell you, here's the top 5. What do you think? Because you know what? I have to admit, you're not going to like this. I wasn't an original Real Housewives of Orange County fan. I mean, I liked it a little, and I definitely spot watched, and I definitely enjoyed it. I was like, this is interesting. Different than MTV's Real World and Road Rules, where they would pick a city and the next city would be another group. I was really shocked. I was like, wait a minute. Vicky's on again? Like, I was like, what city is the Real Housewives going to next, is what I had thought. But little to our knowledge, they were going to keep the cast in one city and just keep building that out. I mean, who would have thought 20 seasons? But then from that becomes a New York, from that becomes a, New Jersey and Atlanta, so on and so forth. So the whole thing was very, very interesting that Real Housewives of Orange County was so big. And I do feel like, though I spot watched at the beginning, I didn't really get into it till a couple seasons later. I probably got into the franchise a little bit later when Bethany sort of became so monumental. Now, Bethany doesn't seem like she likes to be a part of the reality TV conversation now, but her business acumen at the time was big, and I think that changed the game. So the OC girls definitely created and made that reality TV success, but I would say like a Nene on Atlanta and Bethany on New York, whether they sit well with the show now, I think they really did make the show, right? Or was it Orange County? That's another part of the question. So when I think of the top 5, I think, who are the top 5 casts? Now, I'm making jokes, right? You know who I thought of? I was like, there was a cast member named Noella. Noella on the show, I don't know why or how or who, they decided to air this moment on the show, mind you. Now I sound like Dorit. On the show, mind you. Dorit from Beverly Hills. They decided to air this on the show, mind you, and it was in complete, utter distaste. No, Noella on the show talked about the pancake of You remember, like, a show should always be fun and funny. It's reality TV. It's obviously lowbrow to begin with. And I thought Noella was actually quite interesting, but that was like lowbrow. That was like kind of making the show a little more dumpy, I think, I don't know. I think Noella is interesting. I would probably want to interview her at one time, but I just can't believe they had a cast member named Noella who talked about the pancake of or whatever it was called. I don't know what the terminology was, but it was the pancake of and it was nasty. And they put that on the show. Orange County had an identity crisis. This reality show, Real Housewives of Orange County, I do believe, had a identity crisis at one time. Okay, but now let's focus on the good, right? Shannon Beador? Does Shannon Beador make the top 5 of the Real Housewives of Orange County of all time in the 20 seasons? I feel like Shannon Beador, there's the door, Shannon Beador, maybe stood the test of time. Now, what do you think? I gotta say, I know Tamra is in the conversation, Vicky's in the conversation. For me, it's undoubtedly Heather Dubrow. It's undoubtedly Heather Dubrow. I do not understand the concept of Heather Dubrow. She's pretentious and she's this, she's that. To me, I do not look at somebody who has extreme wealth as like they're looking down or talking down to you. If someone's looking down or talking down to you, they're looking down or they're talking down to you. That's pretty simple. Just because somebody has an achievement doesn't mean that. And I feel like Heather has to walk this interesting tightrope with the cast members and some of the audience members because they just really can't take her. But the reality for me, in my opinion, is she's a kind, warm individual, and she always has been, and she knows how to make great, compelling TV coming from the world of being an actress also, and having a cush life and long money is definitely helpful. But me personally, I don't judge somebody just because they have a ton of wealth as like they suddenly are looking down or they're pretentious. Just the same way, I don't wash off, if we're talking about cast members, I don't wash off a cast member because they're a dumpy cast member who doesn't have a lot. Like people look at Gina and they want to be, oh, Gina, she don't have nothing. Except for an interesting voice. Gina doesn't have anything except for a really interesting voice and Travis. But Gina to me was always so entertaining. So do you see what I'm saying? Whether Gina got tons of money or she's more leveling up, I guess is a nice way to say it. I just want to try to judge the cast member on the cast member. So Heather is somebody I like, whether she's got it like that, and she does, or not. Gina, I also like. I want to ask, this is what I want to do. I want to ask what people think of Kelly Dodd. Again, take your thoughts of Kelly Dodd, how you feel about how she even feels about the network and the franchise and all of that stuff. I don't even know if she would want to be in the conversation of a Real Housewives of Orange County top 5 of all time. But I will say this, as somebody who was more of an Orange County spot watcher, I didn't watch all the episodes. This is an interesting and fascinating point. This is not defending Kelly Dodd by any means, but when I didn't watch Orange County a ton, one thing that I could rest assured and always knew is that Kelly Dodd was always the conversation. Kelly would be, I don't know, she just seemed to be embraced by a ton of people at one time. And you could obviously change, but looking back, I'm like, oh, she could have changed, sure. But I'm wondering, was her contribution to the show enough? For me, interestingly enough, I was, again, mostly spot watching Orange County. Orange County isn't the show that I like really, really love. So I find it fascinating that like once I started watching again, I guess it would be right around the time she was no longer on the show. But I remember it was a big to-do. It was a big, big to-do. And I guess she really put her foot in it several times. However, I'm saying in a list of top 5, was she one that would make the cut? It's a real tough question, I know. But as somebody who wasn't watching Orange County, it seems interesting that there was a time that she really was a huge contribution to this show. So that's a conversation. Should Kelly Dodd be also added to this list? Another person I want to add to the list or even talk about as we assemble this, because I don't know the list, who's the top 5. Orange County, I'm only celebrating it now because it had 20 seasons. I will say I was much more of a Potomac viewer. I was in New Jersey once Melissa Gorga got there viewer. I was an Atlanta viewer once Kenya got there. I was I like all the shows, but Orange County took a little while. And I like Beverly Hills, but I don't think Kyle is that entertaining. Oh, it's the truth, right? Anyway, getting back to the list, throwing names out. And again, let's all throw names out together of who we think are the top cast members for Real Housewives of Orange County of all times. Of these 20 seasons. And again, I probably should have watched more episodes, but this is just how I feel, okay? My opinion is based on my feelings. But again, Heather Dubrow is up there. Vicky Gunvalson has to get her flowers, absolutely, no matter what. Shannon Beador, I'm a little bit on the fence about. And Gina, I like Gina, but Tamra, we have to talk about Tamra. Tamra is the type of cast member where I do think that no matter if you like a cast member or the cast member gets under your skin, that is still good for the show. It still perpetuates a lot of excitement and chaos in the best way for reality TV. Sometimes I do think Tamra could go too off the rails, and she could necessarily be too unpredictable where like it's no longer fun anymore. Summer House should be fun. Amanda, not fun. Summer House reference, of course. No, Tamra is still... I still feel like she should be top 5. I think she's a contender for the top 5, right? And again, what is the criteria? You know, for one person, it could be the most likable. Like, oh, I would put in my top 5 favorite cast members from RHOC, Heather Dubrow, because she's the most lovely and fun. Other people will be like, it's got to be Tamra, because Tamra, you know, she stirs it up. So it's really like, what is the criteria? But let's just try to have fun with this. Gretchen won't make the list, but darn it, Gretchen did put in some time. And if Gretchen could have came back and it worked for her, I think maybe it would have worked for her. But, it's not to negate all that she had done at the beginning. You know, the her and Tamra moments, of course, went a very long time. And Gretchen had a strong and I felt like she was very likable. She very much was likable and could still be. But she's not getting the top 5 in our list today. I don't think. Now, I would think to throw names out, maybe Alexis Bellino, but yeah, maybe not. Alexis was interesting, and she was definitely different at the time. She was definitely, her marketing of who she was so strong. So I give kudos and points to that, but I don't think she's top 5. What do we think about the one and only Jen and Ryan? Now, I call her Jen and Ryan because, I like cast members that have a certain flirty energy. I love Melissa Gorga from Jersey, but I also like Melissa Gorga because I love Melissa and Joe together. And Jen, she's got her faults for sure. But at the end of the day, she's this interesting gal who was from Oklahoma City originally, I believe. And I've always said this. She worries about her look quite a bit, but that's not who she is. And I know it seems crazy because it's like, oh, but if somebody gets plastic surgery and alters their body, this, that, and the other, they are superficial. No, they're doing that for themselves. And I don't necessarily think that means you are necessarily a bad person. I don't think that, or a self-involved person. Jen is so interesting because of her, she seems... like she loves Ryan no matter what. And she had a tough, difficult situation with the first marriage. But it's like we're looking at this gal who looks one way, but I feel like her personality is another. And I feel like her personality still has some really honest values to her. But I feel like her look shows, oh, that's a superficial, a girl that's very flighty and only cares about herself. But I don't think that that's who she is. That's what makes her so interesting. I don't think she's exactly done all of her seasons the best. She's had some huge errors, but again, where I'm won over, I love that flirty energy. I love that, like, Jen and Ryan, they just, they're getting excited and they love each other fully no matter what. Like, I like that stuff. Let's see who else is there. Elizabeth Vargas. Does she make the top 5? Dr. Jen. Was that her name, Dr. Jen? I gotta tell you, that Dr. Jen, to me, was not that interesting on the show. And then sometimes you'll see Dr. Jen doing these interesting, because she does have the skill set, but these interesting looks at people's plastic surgery or whatever. And it doesn't feel like it's in the best, like, it feels a little more mean-spirited than like, oh, okay, it makes sense because she's a doctor that she would know, oh, this person got this or this alteration, et cetera, et cetera. It seems like a little bit like, wow, if she was that mean or blunt on Real Housewives of Orange County, she'd probably make a couple other seasons, but as it is, we barely remember Dr. Jen. Now, we remember Jen and Ryan. Jen and Ryan, we remember them all the time, because Ryan also made quite a splash. I'm sure Ryan's been making splashes. You know what I'm saying? Ryan's gonna make a splash tonight. He is a splash. He is a splash maker. We love Jen and Ryan. I mean, I think, right? Oh. And listen, Linda. Listen, wait a minute. What about Katie? I think of Jen, but I also think of Katie. And Katie, she gave it her all those seasons. And, it, I guess, did not go. But the Katie, it's like Katie's having a moment now. So I'm going to be very interested to see what happens with Katie. But does she make the top 5? I don't know that she makes the top 5. I'm not sure. Maybe she does. Oh, you know what? And while we're talking about Orange County, I got another question. For the super fans of Real Housewives of Orange County, was Joe, it seemed like Joe at one point, it feels like Gina Keogh and Joe were the leads originally, right? It seemed like Gina set up the show, like the show felt like it was behind the gates by way of Gina, like this is welcome to the lives of, sort of taking off from a page from the Desperate Housewives TV show. But it seemed like Gina was the lead at that time, and Joe started off pretty strong too. My question, and it's funny, I usually never do an episode in my 1,500 episodes, by the way. Check them out, randomlyronniejr.com, or if you want to support, patreon.com/randomlyronniejr. We definitely always appreciate the support. But in my 1,500 plus episodes, I usually don't do one that I don't know all the information. But I'm being honest, and then we're sharing. Real Housewives of Orange County, I actually don't know all the tidbits. So was Joe supposed to get somewhat of a spinoff at one point? I thought that's in the first 2 seasons, it was leaning towards that. But then again, on Vanderpump Rules, it seemed like Stassi Schroeder seemingly was going to spin off from Vanderpump Rules, and it just didn't take. So is it one of those things with Joe? Was Joe going to move to LA, or move back to LA rather, and they were going to kind of do a series around her, but it didn't happen? And if it didn't happen, why? And if it didn't happen and why, is she forever frustrated that she decided to leave the show and the show became a huge success? That's an interesting thing to me. I don't know. We could talk about Real Housewives of Orange County forever, but I'm just presenting a couple names. I'd like to put Emily up there for does she make the top 5, but I don't think I could come up with enough information why Emily is that entertaining to be top 5 of the Real Housewives of Orange County. But then again, if you break it down, Shannon Beador is not that much to offer as well, but she's just a staple of the show. She's Shannon Beador. There's the door. Shannon Beador, I don't know. I feel like Shannon has to make it. Tamra has to be on the list. I'm not really sure. This is great. So there we go. There's the question. Who are the top 5 on the Real Housewives of Orange County within the 20 seasons? Is it Carmella, who's ushering in a whole new vibe for Real Housewives of Orange County? I really don't know, but that is the question, and we got to get this together. Who are the top 5? Real Housewives of Orange County, BravoTV. This show has been a complete fun watch. Again, I said sometimes I spot watched it, didn't really always see all the seasons till much later. I like it though, but gosh, with 20 seasons, unless you like it, you're not going to watch every episode. So I'm still a little making my judgments, and I'm, maybe not sure, but I do like the show, and I do think it was great for reality TV, and it is to be celebrated, because at the end of the day, anytime people put themselves out there as much as they do or did, and that's my thing, you don't have to like Tamra, but she did put herself out there. And yeah, she gets paid and all that stuff, but it is not an easy job. Definitely not an easy job. They work their butts off, even though it is just reality TV. So that, I think, should be noted. And honestly, they all should be the star of the show in some way, shape, or form. And they are. Even Noella. And remember what she said? Noella was out there. What were they doing that season? That was almost didn't make a 20-year run type season. That was a jumping the shark season. I think Noella's great, but there's a reason she only did one season. Okay, Real Housewives of Orange County, what do you think?